She likes being called horrible names. So I could put a thimble in her and I call her a and she's like,
We were next door, and we used to have like desks and high chairs.
I remember.
Yeah, and then I think we wanted a little more of like a laid back feel, and one of our guys just kind of drew up this 70s, sort of aesthetic.
Killer.
But it was, it's a little Are You Garbage and being Eden with Jordan vibe as well. So it's a little bit of overlap there.
Are you getting comments? What are you stealing their shit?
Oh yeah, of course. Well, it was very. It took us, when you're a part of a big thing like this, we asked for a studio to be done, and it took about 9 months. And I think those guys were like, let's do this weekend.
Yeah, right.
And
exactly.
So, I mean, I'm always so interested in the independent version of what we do. I mean, obviously we do different things, but like.
Wait, are we on?
Yeah.
Oh,
we're just
geez.
gonna go. Does that
All
work?
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to know so I don't say,
Yeah.
Hamas.
I'm at the point now, we're at the point where we've been doing this for 10, 12, 15 years. So like all I've known is doing it as an employee of a company versus being out on your own. And I've always loved like a steady paycheck of like a pretty good money. Never really having to worry on that front.
Oh, don't
but
be a
also,
comic then.
Well, that's so yeah. Like
Yeah.
like when I hear stories of how much you guys have to bomb,
Oh, yeah.
how long you have to wait. First of all, how long you have to hone your craft. Secondly, even once you're good at it, you just got to wait and eat shit because of politics or just bad luck or whatever.
Yep.
The constant failure, the many years of living without money, and the travel and all that shit, I think you're all fucking psychotic.
Yeah, it's
So,
pretty bad.
you must have to fucking love this shit.
You gotta love it.
To keep doing it.
Also, most comics, there was no looking back. We had nothing good going on. So, like, the cliff is behind you. So you're like, fuck it, I might as well go this way. And I worked as a janitor. I'm from Louisiana.
You were a janitor?
Oh, yeah.
Where?
The high-rise on 33rd and Midtown.
No shit.
On the east side, yeah.
Well, at least it's a little, like a...
I don't have you pegged for it. I guess I can kind of see it now that you say it.
Great gig. I mean, you mop, you clean the fridge. I was a porter where you had to install stuff. Like, they go, we need to put this desk together, this shelf together. And I go, okay. Oh, the fuse is blowing. I was Googling fuse box down there. I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
Dude, I kind of did the same job.
It wasn't bad.
My dad, managed commercial properties.
Yep.
So he would hire, like, the engine room guys, the engineers.
Yep.
And then the porters and, like, the assistants and all that. So, obviously, I didn't know any of the engineering shit. But I would just go in there as like, a helper almost. I think that's what it was called. Engineer's helper was the title. And he would hook up. Me and my brother got the job. And one time he hooked up my brother's friend. And he was the... elevator porter for a minute.
Oh, that's a good gig.
And so that's what people say, right? And he was on his feet the whole day. And I guess a lot of these guys carry a marker to, like, what floor are you going to? They push the buttons. Because if you just sit there and, like, push with your thumb all day, it, like, starts to hurt.
Oh, wow.
And I think he ended up being real lazy, and my dad had to fire him. Because it was like...
Bro, that's great. Like, I got my job. It is physically demanding, and I need to use a marker instead of my thumb.
You know what? I think
it sounds silly, but I get it.
But I'm sure it's one of those things, like,
yeah.
I pushed this button 600 times today.
Exactly.
Right.
Wear and tear. But what's going on with the good cop, bad cop? You're dressed like a 50s sitcom dad. Give this guy a pipe and a newspaper and an N-word, and then you're dressed like his pothead son.
This is John's aesthetic.
Yeah. I'm in
You look
casual
great.
wear now. I'm just.
This is casual?
Bro, I was
corduroy.
This is casual.
Can I show
You
you
got
guys
loafers
something?
on.
I wanna, but this is so, like you're saying, like the sitcom dad.
Yeah.
So this is the most comfortable shirt. Neither you're gonna be able to feel it because you both have like something on.
Oh,
Look at
sure,
the
a
inside.
Klan
of this
hood is
fucking
comfortable.
Shirt, dude. Satin inside.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's unbelievable.
That does look nice.
It's the most comfortable shirt I've ever owned.
What do you call that? A shawl? What is that? Is that
Cardigan.
No,
It's got buttons, no?
It's got a collar.
Because it's got a collar.
Oh, cardigans don't have collars?
It's. I think it's just like
A shacket?
Maybe a
jackets
shacket.
have pockets.
Yeah.
This-
That is a shirt. I have a couple things not similar, but I put on a shirt like that, I automatically start going for the pockets.
I need
It's not
that.
there. It's like, fuck. You did something yesterday that I'm thrilled about. the UGG slippers that you wore.
Yes.
Whoa.
I can wear those in public now? I've got like 30 pairs of those. Those exact ones. I wear that shit at home, and now I come to find out, if he's wearing it, I'm like, oh, that's cool now. Like that's fashionable. I'm like, bro, I'm about to blow you out of the fucking water. I got Uggs boots, I got Uggs slippers, I got Uggs clothes, I got Uggs everything.
We can, but you can't wear them with sweatpants.
Right.
You got to wear them
with corduroys.
That's the move.
Yeah, because then it's a little.
I'll definitely be able to do that, though.
Living a little bit of both worlds.
It's like a black guy in a MAGA hat. You gotta have a little of this, a little of that.
Whoa. Keep you on your toes.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't put me in a box.
Yeah. But it's so true because those cords, those browns are very baggy.
Yeah, very baggy.
Baggy's back.
Dude, that's crazy.
You wore baggy pants 3 years ago,
I
you'd be
used to
kicked
get
out of
fucking
society.
flamed for wearing too baggy pants, and now it's like totally in style at all.
But this is that we had this fight on a different show the other day where like a buddy was like, I didn't realize New Balance were cool. And he's like, we're like, well, when were they uncool? And he's like, when I was in elementary school. And I was like, well, fucking yeah, dude, the world changes.
It changes.
And you
but it's the cycling of like if it just kept moving in one direction, it's more like when you make fun of someone, you should be like, that's not currently in style. Not like you look ridiculous.
You're correct about that.
But they shame you to death. When I was a kid, if you wore the wrong thing, I went to a public school, a lot of Afro-Americanes, and you got creamed.
Oh, crushed.
Yeah. Crushed.
I tell, is it Pabs or Jackie right there right now? Jackie. When our other producer dresses similar to John, and he had on like corduroys that like when he sat down like came up to like, and then he had white tube socks like pulled up and loafers, and I was like, I can't even fathom, like, I would have been physically assaulted.
But that doesn't make any sense. Because, he didn't dress like that as a child. What? It's just, like, as style changes, you keep up with the style.
I'm just saying, when I was his age, the style was, if you did that, you would get your fucking, you would get clowned.
Yes, the high, what do you call it, flood pants.
Yeah, high water pants and
Where's
all that.
Where's the flood?
But, so, my point being, once you've lived through, like, a cycle or two, you should never really make fun of anybody's outfit ever again.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I thought that was cool a minute ago, and now I don't think it's cool because of
I think
society.
I think everything can be cool. I
agree.
Skinny pants are not. Although we're so baggy pants are. It's kind of we're getting back
already
to skinny
swinging
again.
back.
Yeah. But like I think I still have like skinny pants I wear sometimes. It's just like I think you should wear everything. And
I also think it's weird. Like if he wears baggy pants, I don't know, he looks stylish. I wear baggy pants, I think I look like a slob.
You got to dress for you. But I do think there's a bigger factor at play here. This is kind of cultural. This is what happens with the movements. Hey, we got to do this. You can't say that word. Hey, this is not cool. And then that all shifts.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's why you shouldn't shame anybody or try to ruin anybody for what's happening now, because in 2 years it could flip.
Yeah. Right.
So you never know.
Right.
Yeah.
So let
alone 10 years, 15 years.
Oh my
20 years,
God.
like then it's like forget
dude,
about
did you see the article the other day? I saw this picture going around.
The Chiefs kid? Yes,
exactly.
I love that kid.
Dude, the Chiefs. So
pull him up.
Chiefs game. It was. I don't even remember who the Chiefs played this week, but Chiefs game. And I saw the picture going around Twitter. It's a child in a headdress, and it's his profile of his face, and his face is black face painted. And I saw that going around Twitter. Half
black, half red.
But in the picture you can see it. It's just you can only see half his face, so it looks like.
But they did that on purpose.
Yeah, but it was a different picture,
right.
A different angle. And like it was going all over Twitter, and I was just like, I mean, there's no way that people were killing him and stuff like that. And I was like,
this kid's gonna be ruined. He's like 8.
Yeah.
And they were like, I was like, there's just no way this kid's in straight up blackface right now.
Yeah.
And it turns out he wasn't.
not,
And people were like going.
I will say that it is a dangerous game to play at all.
It is.
The moment that you start smearing black on your face, anything other than under your eye for a baseball game, you should go, wait a minute. I don't know.
Well, it's funny because that looks very well done, which makes me think that the child didn't do it. So I can just picture his dad putting on, being like, yeah, I can't wear it, but he'll be all right.
They'll never shame a 9-year-old.
Well, what's also interesting is we're all worried about the blackface. What about the Native Americans?
Yes, the red part.
See? You didn't even think of that. And there's less them than black people.
Dude,
They're more of a minority.
This is so annoying, though. This is, of course, fucking Deadspin. I don't even know if you know or care about Deadspin, but they were like our one-time competitor. There was a time where they had funny people.
Really?
And it was like good editors and like names that we would know. Like, you know the names of people at Barstool.
Yeah.
But these other websites, you don't know anybody's name because they're all just like nameless, faceless. Deadspin once had like named people who were funny And they did more like investigative shit. They would find out the fucking Brett Favre dick pics and those sort of things.
Okay.
They were a little more journalists, but they were funny and they were good writers. Now, I say now, probably the last 10, 12 years, they've just been fucking losers on like a crusade. Yeah. So Deadspin wrote an article saying by Karan Phillips that NFL needs to speak out against the Kansas City Chiefs fan in blackface, native headdress. And he put that up. And he's, for the idiots of my mentions who are treating this as some harmless act because the other side of his face was painted red, I can make the argument that makes it even worse. But it's like that.
What argument? What is this? It's like a courtroom
for
scene.
him to. It's just. I guess I've been around long enough, and I've had enough controversies where most of them are very harmless. A couple of them were like fucked up things, and when I thought it was fucked up, I just said. Like, yeah, like, or more the other way around. When I was like throwing stones at someone,
yeah,
and in the beginning, early on, I would find out like a piece of evidence that's like pretty damning for my side,
yeah,
and I would just dig my heels in and be like, but no, he did it prior to that, whatever. And now it's like if I wrote something and I was like, that kid did blackface, and then there was new evidence, I would be like, fuck.
Yeah.
I fucked up. Just like, why can't you just like these people who dig their heels in when it's like you have been categorically proven wrong?
They can't do it.
They cannot do
admit
it.
That's
they cannot.
It's impossible in this day and age. No one ever goes, I never thought of it that way.
Yes.
Yeah.
You don't hear that anymore.
There will never be another debate where someone goes like, oh, I see what you're saying now.
Discussion
so it's
is
like,
important.
why even bother?
Also, we wonder why the country's in the state it's in. We can't discuss. We can't have a debate. We can't go back and forth. And we need a guy proven right or wrong. Or a lady. Somebody needs to go, no, you're wrong here. And they have to go, all right. But they never will. So we'll never get anywhere.
Meanwhile, like every discussion in history is somewhere in the middle. You know what
Probably,
I mean?
yeah. But
because most things are just emotional things. So it's just like when you're having an emotional conversation, both people are, in a sense, 100% correct. It's just emotion. So you got to find a place to be in the middle and go, you're right.
My truth shit gets real vague and gray area.
Right. It's like, well, your truth happens to be a fucking very
you're a
subjective
pedophile.
feeling that you're, or even worse. Right.
My truth was that kid was 48. No, he was 4. But my point is, this is bad news because this kid is going to have to live with this forever. He'll be the Indian kid or whatever, Native American kid, the chief kid.
But don't you think we kind of overstate that too? Like
we're not gonna know.
Like, don't you think in 3 weeks we won't even know who this kid is?
But he'll know, and his family will know. I don't know. It's gonna change. This will change this kid's life
on a neighborhood level. Like we will never be like, oh, that was the kid.
But
I think he's going to school the next day, and people are like, what the fuck?
But all we talk about is mental illness, and we got to be compassionate. What about compassion for this kid? Just because he made a mistake, he's clueless. This kid doesn't know about history and blackface and Al Jolson.
You know what, though?
So let's talk to the kid. Let's go, hey, this is wrong. Let's not just ruin him.
Yeah.
Where's your compassion? He's a fucking 8-year-old.
No, you know what? Let's let this kid sue and just get rich.
Or that.
Defamation money starts rolling in, and then he becomes the douchebag that we hate, and it's like, fuck you too.
Yeah.
The Greer had one of the guys who works here had a funny tweet the other day because I don't know if you saw a very similar story. A kid in California maybe who had put on like eye black. It's just eye black.
Yeah, but it was
it's like the big like
almost
like a bat wing now.
Yeah.
And so he had that on for going to a football game, and he got. Not kicked out of school, but he's not allowed to go to football games anymore.
What?
And this whole thing, and Greer just quote tweeted it, like kind of as a joke. Obviously what Greer was saying was 100% as a joke, but like this isn't even gonna happen. We just quote tweeted it and went, "Twitter, do your thing," and in parentheses, ruin his life.
That's what Twitter doing your thing is. Yeah.
And then like. That started to actually happen. You gotta be fucking kidding me! They're not doing it obviously because of his tweet, but it's just like he's like, I didn't actually think people were gonna get mad at
do
this
it,
kid.
because you can't give anybody the benefit of the doubt.
No,
anymore.
And I don't want people to be offended. If a black guy or a Native American guy is like, this is wrong, it hurt my feelings. Like, okay, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Let's discuss it. But just to go scorched earth on this fucking 9-year-old feels very inhumane.
You know what was a turning point for me was actually Native American related, the kid who was at a MAGA rally with the Native Americans.
Oh, Sandman.
And like he just kind of looked like a douchey lax bro.
He did, yeah.
So we all said like fuck that guy, and then it turned out he was like a perfectly good kid,
and the Native
they were the ones harassing him.
Exactly.
And that was a moment where I was like, oh man, like I think I sent some tweets. I probably was ready to fucking make a video, write a blog, make fun of him. I think I even said something like, Okay, fine, but chances are he's like a shitty lax douche, and like fuck him anyway. And it's like
the same thing.
He's just a regular ass kid who like has a dad haircut, and like it's tough to be like a white guy who looks like that these days. And I remember thinking like that was a turning point for me where I was like, all right, you can't.
Yeah, punchable face.
Right. That's it. Punchable face doesn't mean he's a fucking racist or whatever.
But to your point, the news never went back and went, we were wrong. No, sorry about that. That's what we got to start doing. Yeah. We got to take accountability.
No, do you think that there's, from an internet perspective, I think there's been a bit of a reckoning with. I feel like there were probably 5+ years of a lot of cancel culture. Yeah. I think for starters, like things like going back through old tweets, I never see that anymore.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Interesting,
right? Like,
when it last happened, it was Travis Kelce, and it was like funny things.
Yeah,
but I'm sure that started because somebody was trying to be a motherfucker.
Sure,
but
there's I don't see the mainstream level of canceling, whatever you want to call it, happening anymore. And I've seen
the only thing I might say to counter that is people have cleaned up their tweets.
Yeah, it could be. Could be.
Like maybe Travis Kelce was all good.
But I'm not even speaking strictly to that was one example. But I'm speaking
but in
like,
general, the crusades and the witch hunts and shit like that.
Yeah, it could be just my timeline. It could be things like that. But I'm wondering, is that something you see
literally just talking about one?
What's that?
This kid with the Indian thing.
Yeah, but I mean like with celebrities and things like that.
Okay, well, we had Lizzo not too long ago.
But even that, I wouldn't count that as like I guess like I don't know. I guess because I'm kind of removed a bit from like.
I hope you're right.
Things like that, like Lizzo didn't get in any trouble. Like,
yeah, I think
it was
there's
a
difference
story.
Between
most of what I saw was people kind of laughing at it.
Right.
I'm sure there were people in comments who were angry, but like that's been that way forever, and it will be that way forever.
That's true.
People will be angry, but like nothing happened. Largely, what I saw was just people laughing about it and being like,
yeah. I mean, I'm sure she had to answer some questions, had a couple shitty articles.
Yeah,
but I think there was like the cancel. You know, R. Kelly's the world.
Well, he's a criminal.
Right, right. That's what I mean. Like those like cancel. Those guys got canceled because they were like we're removing them from society.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden, like cancel became like we just don't like you anymore.
Right.
But there was a movement to like get sponsors to drop you and like snitch on your whatever your platform is.
Although actually, Lizzo, I'm sorry to interrupt. I think I'm wrong. I think Lizzo did.
She lost a Super Bowl gig.
Super Bowl. Yeah, I don't know if she officially had it, but she was out of the running.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean that shit is like my thing is you have to lose something to be like canceled. You know, it's like if you have a couple shitty days online.
Yeah.
And maybe you lost some fans, but like you're gonna lose some fans because they find out that you're a Mets fan and not a Yankees fan. Like that comes and goes. If you like lose a sponsor, lose a gig, whatever. Then but there's always going to be like I said something stupid and people are mad at me today. You can't.
Yeah, like Matt Rife.
Yeah,
Matt Rife just got blown up.
I think that almost it kind
he's still going to be selling out arenas and shit. It doesn't fucking matter.
I think it actually kind of became a weapon for the celebrity.
To use it.
Where you start being like they're trying to cancel me. And I know we did it here. I know Dave did it.
Really?
I know. I mean, it wasn't like they were team meetings and being like, let's use like I know Dave put like. Cancel culture and stuff like that. Like that was a financial decision. I'm sure Dave believes it, but like
it was genuine. But it's also like, hey, the benefit of it.
It behooves a celebrity to have a reason to get his fans to rally around him.
The best thing that can happen is a salacious and very polarizing and intriguing scandal that is not that bad.
Yeah.
What's her face giving a hand job in the theater?
Perfect.
It was like, that's kind of gross, but you're hot, and now we're talking about you. And although I just said what's her face, so I don't remember her name.
Lauren Boebert.
But so like people, we looked into each other's eyes and said Boebert as we did. I mean,
it is weird though how like I'm saying all this and I'm like. How the internet is such a unique experience to everyone. Because I could be like, here's what I see, and this is the world I think exists.
Exactly.
And you're like, no, it's completely different in my world.
People do not stop to think that.
No.
Even on like little things, like there'll be a time I'm arguing a sports thing, and they're like, what are you even talking about? Like, nobody said that. And it's like, bro, if you saw my mentions on Sunday, like 1,000 people told me that Zach Wilson was a good quarterback. You know? And that's harmless. But it's like, nobody's saying that. You're just making this up. It's like, I'm telling you, man. But also then I go back and it's like, I say 1,000. It was probably like 25 tweets. And when you're scrolling
That's a
Twitter
good point.
and you see 25 in a row, you feel like, what the fuck?
The world's
but that
coming
is
after me.
literally 25 people.
Yeah, no, I think
so. I go back and forth on all of it.
Right.
But do you feel like I mean, you never really curtailed much. I feel like you were always letting it rip. But have you changed one way or the other, back and forth?
Sometimes I'll be writing a joke and I'm like, I'll change this from a black guy to a white guy just to get less ears perked up,
Mm-hmm.
So there's stuff like that. But I feel like just keep going, and if you just keep saying horrible things, they eventually go,
That's what he does.
He's not going to stop.
It's so true, man. I always thought that about sports with like A-Rod was fucking crucified.
Really?
For steroids. When he
really?
I mean, they, at least in the New York media, it was like they just
Not the
acted
herpes?
like he killed somebody.
Wow.
And a guy like Dennis Rodman or Charles Barkley or some of these guys who are like constantly in the headlines, it's like it becomes white noise.
Yes,
but when the squeaky clean guy does one thing wrong, they go in on it. And it's like, all right, I cheated. Like Dennis Rodman just said that he fucked a horse before or whatever. You know what I mean? It's
wedding
like,
dress.
Nobody cares.
He's with Kim Jong-il or whatever.
It's just, that's just Rodman,
Yeah.
So it's almost better if you're going to do a couple fucked up things, might as well do all of them. Because the minute what the media loves is the squeaky guy who fucked up.
Yes.
Not the bad boy who just always fucks around.
It's like hip-hop. Hip-hop says crazy shit. Matt Rife says one offensive joke. We're like, can you believe this guy? I'm like, go listen to any rapper from the 90s.
Right.
And then yell at them.
I've always thought there's a lot of parallels between rap and comedy.
Oh, yeah.
Like punchlines and what they're saying and
totally.
Crafting some stories, exaggerating, whatever, a
Yep.
persona. So, one thing is, kind of glorified or whatever. The other is completely, you know.
My thing is when they just want to take, they're like, because it tends to not be about justice at the end of the day. It's about, like, we got this motherfucker.
Yeah.
We ruined this guy. Like, let's take money away. Let's take business away, whatever. And that's what hurts me. Like, if you go, Matt Rife's a piece of shit. I hate his comedy. He's mean to women. I'm out. Like, great. That's all good. That's your prerogative. Do what you got to do. But hey, Netflix, you should take this off. And you're like, let other people enjoy it.
Yeah,
you psycho narcissist. We got to have everything curated to exactly your emotions. That's insanity.
That's insane. That's deranged.
Like, I had a joke on YouTube, and some guy wrote, hey, this is a Mulaney joke. You stole it. You're a joke thief. And I go, oh, shit. Oh, my God. So I looked at Mulaney's joke, and mine was from 2012, and his was from 2016. So I wrote that back to the guy, and I go, hey, man, look at the dates. And he wrote, whatever.
Yeah.
And you're like, no.
That's the other thing.
So why don't you go yell at Mulaney? I don't want to get Mulaney in trouble. He didn't steal the joke.
No, it's
I'm
like
not saying that.
I deserve an apology.
Yes.
And,
But he was like, I want the kill. I don't want justice. I just wanted to get you.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of what this is.
That's something I learned from just like my time in mentions and comments and things like that, where it's just like, to me, it felt like I had to prove myself. I had to justify what I said, what I did.
Yeah.
And to that person, it's nothing. It doesn't matter.
I know.
Right?
Or
so like
and
I
they
just
also,
like stop.
So
like,
true.
It's like
they're also not going to ever be like, oh, okay.
yeah.
So like we
Never.
talked about, they're never
But
gonna
like
change
it
their
was
mind,
like
so it's truly.
I'd be like, no, I'm right
pointless.
here, and I'd take my time, and they're like, whatever. I'm like,
Yeah.
fucking son of a bitch.
Or
dude.
or I'll get like say, hey man, I just was looking, I was just trolling, and it's like, well then fuck you.
Yeah, you ruined my day.
yeah.
But that's why we need this weird court that just goes, you're wrong, you're right, and just ends it.
Oh, I would love internet court.
Internet court. Let's start the show.
We did a thing. It was more Barstool controversy. There's a Barstool storyline. Was he in the wrong? Was she in the right? And we would sit as like literally we had wigs on and everything.
I love it.
It was I think the one that we filmed was, we had an intern back in the day who stabbed a air conditioner with a pair of scissors and broke it, and just like flat out denied it. He was like,
Not denied it. He said he did it, but he's like, that's not what broke
that's not what broke it.
Oh, that's hilarious.
and he was an intern, and we it was like, who broke the air conditioner? We had some fun with it, but I'd love a real internet court.
It's probably why cell phone cameras have changed everything, because Kramer was like the first guy to get filmed doing fucked up shit, and that changed everything, because now we got Karens like, fuck you, Karen, and now you're filming her, and you're like, oh, we got her now. Because before it was just your word against theirs.
Totally.
It's
That's why
actually
they're so
become
big.
so crazy now, where people are so they so truly believe that they're the ones in the right that now it's just two people filming each other.
Yeah.
Knowing
I'm gonna get you.
we'll let the jury decide. Like we'll both post and we'll let the jury decide.
That's hilarious.
It's just two people with phones hanging out. Like I can't see either of your faces now.
But even little things like when you're on the subway and there's a guy just blaring a boombox and it's pissing everyone off, but you're like. If you go up to the guy and you go, hey, can you turn that down? You go, fuck you, man. It's a free country. Get out of my face. I can do what I want. And you're like, yeah, but we all hate it. And he's like, I know, but this is a public space. And you're like, yeah, it's a public space. There's other people here. And he's like, fuck you, you piece of shit. And you're like, this guy is so clearly wrong, but he thinks he's right. I would love to just have a bailiff and a podium come up with a guy with a robe and go, you're
done.
You're fucked.
Yeah, you're fucking wrong, man.
It would just be so satisfying.
Yeah, no, but that I feel like as you get older, it's like you realize it's never going to happen. so I don't even.
But neither is
I would
time
love the
machine,
satisfaction, and I still will get myself caught up in like a 50 tweet storm.
Yeah.
Here's why you're wrong. But now as I get older, I'm like, they're not going to change their mind. I'm not going to get what I want.
I guess so.
I'm going to waste all my time.
Yeah.
So fuck it,
And this is kind of what marriage is. That's basically what marriage is. It's like, right, fuck it. There's no point in arguing. I'm not going to win.
How's marriage going for you?
Hey, it's going great. I give it a year. No, we're actually past a year. It's going good. We're moving to Brooklyn, getting a big old place with a backyard.
Let's go.
Living the dream.
What does she do, if you don't mind me asking?
She is influencer marketing.
Okay.
And don't ask me anything else. That's where I cut off.
I always say that with I don't have a wife, but with my friends, where when people are like, what is my parents I'm home for Thanksgiving? They're like, so what's Papin doing? I'm like, I don't have a clue.
Living.
I don't. I think he does sales.
That's hilarious.
I think when you can't really describe someone's job who you spend a lot of time with. I think that's the greatest testament to your
friendship.
relationship.
Yeah,
Great point.
It doesn't come up. I don't know.
There are 3, maybe 4 jobs. There's doctor, lawyer, dentist, sales.
Yeah.
If you do those things, I can say what you do.
Yes.
Sales is even a cop-out.
My friend used to say, I know Halloween costume jobs. Nurse, fireman,
yeah,
cop.
Right.
Then
there's
the
trades. There's the trades, but the jobs are... I've always found that accountant is the go-to for everybody when they're trying to describe the shitty job, the bad job, the
cubicle,
lame job.
office.
It's always, blah, blah, blah in accounting. And I did it, so I get it. But it's funny that became the default, none of the other shitty jobs out there.
Have you heard that old Brian Regan joke where he plays golf with his buddy all day, and then he goes back home to his wife, and she's like, how's Greg? And he's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
He just got divorced. He must have mentioned it. Didn't come up. You played golf for 12 hours. Yeah. That's it.
That's I think the inherent difference with the guys and girls. We can do that kind of shit. And
oh yeah,
I saw
they
a
love
tweet,
the gossip.
a viral tweet about that the other day, where it was just ladies, just so you know, men do have this ability, and I don't know if women have it or not. I guess they don't. Where it's basically it's the thing where it's when you ask what do you think about, and you're like nothing, and it's we can just shut off our brains. And I was I really am most of my day,
nothing.
There's nothing.
Blank. There's wind.
It's just inhale,
just blowing
exhale.
through.
Inhale, exhale.
Well, it's literally there's a cup right there.
Yeah.
There's a TV. It's off.
We played this game the other day. It's like an internet trend where 2 people say, you go 1, 2, 3, and you say a word, any word.
Oh, okay.
And then the next round, you try to get to the point where they both say the same word.
Huh.
So I would, you would say television, I would say table. The next thing, we hopefully both say couch or something like that.
Yeah.
Whatever. And I just did it right here. Me and John played it, and the only thing we could do was say words in the room. The game was just say words. And I was like, I don't know what to do. Television. And he was like, I don't know what to do. Air conditioner.
Yeah.
It was truly brain empty, nothing going on.
And yet, not to toot men's horn, and women too, but men, a lot of great books, a lot of great movie directing, a lot of great screenplays, a lot of great comedy albums, music, all written, a lot written by men. So we're thinking about something. We can do it.
Yeah, we can just turn it off.
But
I guess so.
It's actually like the episode of Parks and Rec when Rob Lowe's character takes Nick Offerman to he wants to see if he's able to adapt, and he takes him to Rob Lowe's a big yoga guy, so he takes him to a meditation studio, and he's like, so how was it? And he's like, it was fine. I didn't think about anything the whole time. And he's like, you did it. He's like,
you did yoga.
He's like, you didn't think of anything? He's like, I didn't think of anything the entire time. And he's like, that's it. He's like, no, that's nothing.
You didn't do anything. You did nothing.
I've said, like by meditation standards, on most of my day, I'm meditating.
I will say, I as I get older and I get more stressed and stuff, my ability to just chill and not think goes out the window. Nowadays, I'm like, what about this? What about that? Oh, I should be doing that. I used to be able to watch TV till my eyes bleed.
Yeah.
Stuff food in my mouth. Go to sleep being like, that was a completely cool day. And now I'm like, I should have done this. I should have done that. And
well, the question is, what's better? Yeah. Is it better to think of things, to be creative, and go through your thoughts,
or
get
the combo.
Zone out?
This guy.
Combo.
Yeah.
And everything you say just sounds so much more profound with your leg and sock and loafer sitting like that.
No, but he can, he's doing like a sketch show. He's funny on the podcast. He comes up with marketing stuff, and then can also be like,
that's the dream. That's the key.
He's like a really smart, able to communicate dog.
Yeah.
Great. Fucking.
Well, girls will do that.
Comfy as a dog.
Like, you ever
right
have your wife in bed or whatever, and she's like, "What are you thinking about?" And you're like, "I don't know. I don't know."
Yeah, it's an abstract thing. It's like, I can't tell you nothing. Something was going through my brain. I think. I don't know.
Something. Childhood.
Just fleeting
whatever.
moments.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Are you guys having kids? You got kids?
I got kids.
No.
You got kids?
Yeah,
How old?
2 kids, 8 and 6.
Oh wow! So that's the fun, gooey, fun part.
It is fun. It's also the like just 1,000 activities. Chauffeur. That when people make jokes like, I'm an Uber driver now, it's fucking real, man.
Really?
You're just constantly like back and forth. And
where do you go? I mean, in the city?
I live in Westchester.
Oh,
so,
that's
yeah,
perfect.
I get out of there. But so I'm divorced, so I use the activities as an extra time to see my kids.
Sure.
So like I'll stay at their practices. Like I'll go to all the games. I'll even stay at some of their practices and shit. But now I think my kid, specifically my son, can't really stay at the dance and gymnastics. They don't allow it. But you can hang out at the baseball game. You can hang out at the basketball shit. And martial arts is the main one. I just sit in the crowd at martial arts and like. I think he thinks it's totally like I'm gonna go to all of his practices. Forever.
Yeah.
I'm like, brother, you got about one more year of this. I just sit there on my phone. I'm like, and he's like, did you watch? I'm like, what? Did you kick the thing again? Okay. Whatever, man. But yeah, it's a fun age, but there's shitty parts of every fucking age.
Oh, really?
It's like, and certain things you get over the hump. It's like, okay, yes, getting out of diapers is great.
Yeah.
But then you're on to another thing where it's like. Now you have to make sure they don't fall out the window every time because they're running around. You know what I mean? And then it's like they're old enough that them kids being able to get in the car themselves and get in the shower themselves. It's amazing.
So
it's
funny.
A fucking life changer.
What's happiness in your life?
Yes.
At certain ages.
Yes.
Now you're like, I'm getting blown. I can't believe it. I'm 19. I'm getting a blowjob. And now it's like, this kid got in the car.
One of the best jokes ever. If you're a parent,
the Louis,
yeah.
The best.
It's so good and so real if you've lived it because I've walked slower. I've been like I gotta read like one extra tweet.
Oh, this is terrifying. I'm shooting loads in the lady like it's
are you
Columbine. Yeah, so. I'm trying to get the old broad there knocked up eventually, but maybe I shoot blanks, unlike Alec Baldwin. But, yeah.
Is that a real thing? I've never tried to have a child. So like the things in like movies where let's say you and the lady just finish, does she actually lay there like with her legs up and stuff like that?
We're not there yet.
I think when you start getting desperate, or like when it's not working.
But there is science to it. Like they'll tell you, like birthing.
Oh yeah.
Will tell you
I mean, it's all woo woo.
I think a lot of it
is
too. Oh, nowadays, they get the app and they will tell you when you're fucking ovulating. That shit's real. It's like this is when the eggs are ready. I think the rest of some of that stuff is old wives' tale. But when you're struggling, you're like, we'll try.
Yeah.
I don't want to be the asshole who didn't try. So I'll eat that food. I'll sit with my legs up. I'll do it all because hey, anything can help.
And now a lot of Whitey is doing that IVF. Very popular.
Yeah.
I think Whitey waits till the last minute.
Yeah.
We want to have our selfish life and live it up.
Yeah.
And then we're like, oh shit, we're late 30s. We want to have a Rugrat, so you gotta pay the piper.
Was this your idea or was this your wife's?
I've always, thought about having kids. You picture the Thanksgiving, the headlocks, the throwing the ball around. So.
I did that as a kid. I like a kid into high school. Like I thought I would want kids, and as I've gotten older, I'm always like,
Is that right?
And
You'd
it's
be a
actually
great dad.
It's gotten to the point too where like I'm wondering like, am I just like too into my own bit, or do I actually not want kids? And I'm like, but I think it seems like I don't actually want kids.
You gotta tell your outfit.
I would say this: even like either you are not into it and you've made your decision, or I would say if you're even like having that level of doubt, it's probably pretty good to not.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm talking vasectomy.
Whoa. Well, the birth rate is lower than it's ever been.
Yeah.
Fun
That's
fact.
to keep our cell phones in our dicks.
Yeah, and
We're
just people
boiling our cum.
Well, we live in a weird time where everybody's like, I'm depressed. I have anxiety. I'm on 8 medications, blah, blah, blah. But then you're like, you want kids? I don't want to ruin my life. Like, wait, I thought you were depressed. Like, which one is it?
I don't know, bro. I'll tell you this much: it ruins your fucking life.
Oh!
Like, I'm sure the other stuff does too, but like it. I had a guy come up to me at the meet and greet the other day in, I want to say Minneapolis, like, or maybe Buffalo. I don't know, one of them. And he was like, "Thank you, bro. Like, thank you for telling it like it is." Mark is fucking done over here. If you're listening on the podcast, he is frozen. He is a statue. I mean, it.
Really?
Yeah, bro. Yes. Think about all the stuff you like to do.
Yeah.
Is any of it child friendly?
Strip club? No. Yeah, I guess you're right.
And like when and then on the other side of things, like I can now have a catch with my son.
Okay.
Baseball glove, like
that's something.
Fucking awesome.
All right. Okay, that's
Totally.
one for the good chart.
Absolutely.
Good,
and there's
good
a
column.
bunch for the good stuff, but it is weirdly fulfilling things and loving things as far as like the life that you know and love. I sleep when I want. I go where I want. I do what I want. I don't do what I don't want to do.
Yeah.
All of it is gone.
Yeah.
All
Well,
of it's gone.
and you're only seeing a kid half.
And I was going to say, and I have it easy. Like, I actually think the way that we do it is, well, we'll see.
Ideal?
If my kids get fucked up, then I'm wrong. But, like, my kids are very good. They are doing very well. They're very talented. Maybe I just got lucky in that regard. But the fact that I know that there's a light at the end of the tunnel,
Yeah.
I will parent my dick off for that weekend, that
interesting.
night, that morning, like whatever, where I'm popping in and out, and then I can get a reprieve.
Yeah.
When you some of the guys here who are like 24/7 dads, like it is a fucking grind.
Wow.
And I just don't think people say it enough. Even the books that are like, this is like written by dads for dads are still very like, exactly.
Yeah.
Where it's like, yo, I personally think, without knowing anything about it, I think there are like hormones and a physical change that will happen to a woman where it's like they carry this baby and go into mom mode. And I can understand they change from like that party girl, that wild girl, that free spirit girl is now like, what's the calendar say? What's this? Like freaking out, you know? As a guy, you don't do, you're just like, I just shot you up like Columbine. That was my job.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't do, nothing like happened other than me being like, whoa, that's mine. I didn't have some physical and emotional, mental transformation. It was just like, now everything I do is out the window.
Whoa.
I want to watch a baseball game every single night. You're not doing that anymore. You want to go out? You're not doing that anymore. You want to sleep? You're not doing that anymore. And, the moments where you're snuggling with them and they laugh at you and they smile at you. But in the beginning, when there's not much reciprocation, it's like,
but
this is going to suck.
Can I say when you're 65 and your kid's 20 whatever and you're at Thanksgiving, that might be nice. You're probably going to be glad you did it. I think right now it's tough.
Right.
But it will
when
pay
you have
off.
it early. And
I'm not
you'll be
into
depressed.
investments.
Yeah.
I spend my money now.
There you go. All right.
I do think, and I know it's because of the biological clock, but the fact that we give up almost, regularly speaking, late 20s, definitely like your entire 30s, pretty much your 40s, and the way the world is going now, people stay at home, you financially support them till you're dead.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, when I'm 65, things get fun again.
Right.
I'm 65.
True.
My dick doesn't work. My legs don't work. My back hurts. Who fucking cares that 65 is fun? I gave up 30 to 45.
Yeah, you got a point. I can't wait till your kids hear this. They're gonna love this.
The two people in my life who I'm closest with who have children are Kevin and my sister. And I do have to mention my sister has Now, to be fair, she's always been very maternal her whole life. She's like,
she loves it.
She's like, not even loves it. She's like, I don't even get the difference.
Come on. Like, that's crazy.
She had a baby. She's like, I don't know what the fuss is about childbirth. That was easy.
What?
And like now she's like, yeah, I don't know. Like it's just a kid around. Like
wow.
She's always been very maternal. And she's rather laid back.
I think a lot of it too is like, I think the marriage and the relationship, or whether you're married or just having a kid with somebody, I think that also plays, like, sometimes it's not the kid, it's the fact that, like I don't know, when it's my kid, it's like, I don't know, I'll let him crawl on the floor, I'll let him do this, I don't really fucking care.
Yeah.
When you have another partner who's like, no, we have to do it this way, or I have to do it that way, and then you guys are fighting it, that sort of shit can become a problem.
You got to be in sync.
If you are in sync and you're all on the same page, and it's like, yeah, I don't know. But I don't know, I mean, that also sounds like, when you're not getting sleep, it just fucks your life.
No sleep will kill you.
If your baby sleeps, you're fine. If you're not,
she also is a good kid. He sleeps the whole time and shit like that. But
wow.
I do have another friend who I'm close with who has 2 kids, and he's like,
and I'm not.
Maybe it's a guy versus girl thing. He's like Kevin too.
I'm not gonna come on the show and wax poetic about all the fucking good times because it's like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah. No,
but I do
think
think the people. Speaking honestly, nobody. I'm gonna get ripped again every time I do this. You're a bad father, like you said. Your kids are gonna see this. It's like
you can still be a great father and be annoyed.
right. Yeah, I'm just like someone's got to tell the fucking truth, and the truth is it's gonna radically change your life.
Okay.
One I never thought of until I went to go visit my other friend who has 2 kids. And this was probably a year and a half ago, maybe something like that. It was like COVID might have been on an uptick. He lives in D.C., and I was on a train down there, and I like started getting sweats, and I hadn't been feeling well, but I was like, I think I have COVID. And so I like the train. We were probably like coming up on like the Newark stop, and I called him, and I was like, hey, like I just wanted you to know, like I'm sick. I think I might have COVID. Like it's. I'm still willing to come. I'm not bailing, but like if you want me to turn around, I'm completely fine doing that too. And it was actually his wife I was talking to, and she's like, John, we have 2 kids in daycare. If you didn't show up with COVID, you were leaving with it. I was like, oh, all right, I'll see you in 2 hours.
But to be fair, that whole house left with COVID, right? Yeah. Wasn't that the house that you just...
No. That was the vineyard. That was a different time.
That was a different house.
That time I didn't have COVID because the kids are in daycare. They had like... Excuse me.
Now you got it.
A closet full of tests. So I did tests when I got there, and I didn't have it. But I did leave sick.
Kids are just germ factories.
Petri dishes for sure.
I just did a Bert's Cruise.
Oh, you did?
We all got home, and everybody had COVID.
Yeah, sure.
I didn't get it because I've had it 78 times.
What was the? Was that like? Animal.
It was insane. I've done a few cruises, and I'm not a huge fan of them. I was kind of dreading it. Like, all right, 5 days. Let's just drink the whole time and get through it. I don't like the water that much. Fuck it. And it was so fun. Bert carried it. I mean, the guy, he is the machine. He did a fucking small dick contest. He did a Halloween costume contest. You do sets every night. There's big, beautiful theaters on these cruises.
They're that big, huh?
Yeah, I did like a 900-seater one a couple nights. And shows were great. Crowds were great.
Small dick. Laugh at the small dick contest is funny.
Yeah, they did a Speedo contest, but it turned into a micro penis off.
Bare dick?
Yeah.
How small do we talk?
I'm talking micro. I'm talking, acorn in a bush.
we have a running joke, running story about a guy at a hockey event with Barstool chanting in the bathroom, I've got the smallest dick. And then we ran into this guy's buddy in Buffalo at our last show, and he was like, I'm friends with the smallest dick guy.
Yeah.
And he showed us a picture of the whole gang.
It's a doorbell. It's crazy.
No. It was just like a pretty regular dick.
Oh, no.
And all of his friends around him all had probably like a 5-inch flaccid dick. And I was like, you guys have been telling this dude he's at a micro dick. He has a completely normal dick. He just hangs out with like 5 savages who have fucking hammers on him.
Whoa.
It was crazy. I remember looking at it being like, I was looking around like,
is that
a micro penis? Because then I have a micro penis. But
jeez.
so these guys had like the
like it didn't get over the ball sack. It was just like a nub.
What do you do?
I think you got to own it.
Kill
because
yourself?
You're just like, look how funny this is. Because what else are you going to do? You're going to kill yourself.
But what do I mean? What do you? Okay, yes, that's we all know that, right? You lean into the most embarrassing thing.
Yeah.
But then you still go home going like, fuck, I'm still so embarrassed.
I think so.
When you have a micro penis, you still go home with a micro. Hey, I made everyone laugh tonight about it. but I am not having sex with anybody ever.
No. Well, maybe there's some ladies out there who are very sensitive about length, and they're like, I need a micro. I don't know. I don't even know how jizz could shoot into you and get you pregnant even.
Yeah, it must be like a droplet, right?
I guess so, yeah.
Or is it like a full...
You pointing at me for it?
Well, no, I'm saying...
Why don't we ask this guy?
You got to do the upside down thing to get the jizz in, like you were saying. And I heard you have a micro. But, yeah.
That would be very funny if you shoot like a full load of cum from a micro penis.
I'm sure.
That'd be ridiculous.
The sack is the same.
Yeah, and
so you get a fucking hotel toothpaste, but it just never ends. Like the fuck is still something.
That's what I would call it.
Pimple poppers.
It
just
keeps
going.
Travel size. Travel size dick.
Jackie, if everything else was perfect, dream scenario, money, looks, behavior, could you settle down with a micro penis? That's a no.
Yeah, of course.
That's a no.
That's the loudest no you've ever heard.
Yeah.
You can't blame her.
Yeah, no, I don't even think that's that bad.
No, it's a no, and that's a very, very
Totally
fair
fair.
answer because it's an instinct. Like you would have known right away if it was a yes.
I know a girl who's like very pretty, very normal looking, and her like fiance now I think has a micro.
Of course, because you know what? If you date someone with a micro penis, you can maybe discuss it with your best friend because I'm sure you need to have some discussions like, hey, can I really do this? You cannot be running around the girl crew telling everyone he's got a micro penis.
Well, I think everyone knew that he had a micro penis, and then they started dating.
Oh,
Really?
like they're in college or something.
Yeah,
like everybody.
yeah.
That's.
So what's her deal? Is she just cool with it?
She's cool with it.
I mean, they got married.
Is he awesome?
No.
Wow.
Everything about him sucks.
Like,
the most charming guy.
Sense.
I think he'd be the most charming guy on the planet because he has to be.
Yeah,
it's like a funny fat gal.
I mean, I guess the other extremes would be like, could you date someone with a great dick, charming, super handsome, but they literally have $0? Like
I think, yeah.
Because that is a bankrupt dick.
But also, the answer to that is yes.
Yeah, that happens all the time.
I think so.
You think so? Girls are...
I guess you're right. I
girls
think
out
it
there
happens.
are like the first thing they're looking for is money.
Well, yeah, and it's hard to get to the dick if you don't have a little dough.
Yeah.
You know, you can't get a woman on your dong without a little cash.
I guess you see enough, like, I'm dating the struggling artists or these bum comedians over here. You guys were always getting pussy when you were broke, right?
Yeah, but we had the comedy power, so you could get off stage and be
Well,
like,
that's
hey.
what I mean. So, like, you have, if you have all the other boxes, I think someone... It's still a lot of people would say no, but you're right. More people would say yes to being totally broke versus being totally dick broke.
Yeah.
I'd rather have no money than no dick.
Yes.
In terms of romance. Actually, it's a good question.
You can make money, you can't make dick. You know?
But, like, let's say you can't make money. Let's say you are pretty talentless and stupid, and you know that about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Would you be like, I'll live like in this very modest life. I'm in a trailer, but I can still like throw dick around every now and then. And I'm not saying you have a great dick. You just have a dick.
Oh,
versus like, micro penis, but you're a baller. Because like the rest of your life, but you're a baller. Yeah.
Really?
I think I don't know though. I think it bleeds into like if you are totally at peace with it, and you're like, I'm living on my yacht, I am traveling the world. So what? Whatever. But I think the natural way of life, you would be like, it would just become who you are.
I know it's like the male brain,
right? Because people talk.
It's we think about it all the time, but like, if you really want to break it down, my dick is in use in the sense that a size matters. For like, I don't know, 0.01% of my life.
Well, that's the argument.
Sure.
Yeah, it's like your money impacts every single second of your life. But this is what I mean. Like, if you have a bad dick, I use that thing a couple minutes at a time, a couple weeks, a couple days a week if you're lucky. Couple, like you add it all up, it's not that often.
And you can still eat out and finger.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Other things. That's always a good fallback. But I think the micro penis leaks into everything.
Yes.
I think you can't walk in a room without getting made fun of. You don't stand up to your boss because you're like, I got a tiny dick. It just becomes,
It's small dick energy.
Yeah. Right. It really is.
Interesting. I'm fascinated with this micro penis guy. Does he have kids?
No. I mean, they're like young, but he's like a gym rat, which.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
There's always an overcompensation, whether it's billionaire, buff.
Well, I think that's even worse because you got these big fucking legs, ripped, and then it's just really hidden.
Good point.
That's why I don't work out.
I bet he wears a strap on. Right now.
I guess if you find the absolute right person, and she's down, and you're like truly, I don't make you come with my dick. It's everything else that you talked about.
Right.
Like I'm not. If I make you come with my dick, like that's a bonus.
Yeah.
So
wait, what are you making her come with?
my hands, my mouth.
Oh,
like everything
really?
Else. Yeah,
I'm all dick.
Yeah. You're all dick. You make her come with you while you're doing it, or while she's like on top, or you can make her come with your dick with your moves.
If I'm on top. I know the move. I put the legs up, and it works. We're married though, so it's like we've figured it all out.
And you do it, yeah.
Yeah, and I say horrible. She likes being called horrible names. So I could put a thimble in her, and I call her a cunt, and she's like, It's also nice because I get all my shit out in sex. I'm like,
very symbiotic relationship.
Yeah, you can't drive. You're ugly. Well, no one told you that because a lot of women like being insulted in the bedroom, but no one tells you their insults are supposed to be sexy. So I'm just like, hey, you can't cook, you fucking idiot, and that does not work. It's got to be like you're a whore or whatever.
Yeah, let's demean them sexually. Come on, be respectable.
Yeah,
call them a slut.
Right.
I remember the first time like a girl was like that, and I remember like the look in her eye. Where I was like, this is crazy,
demented,
deranged. Say that?
I know. They say it's a woman with a good childhood prefers that.
Really?
Yeah.
It's like
dude, I'm getting hip to it. I think I spoke of a reckoning earlier. I think chicks are just long playing us. Where there's all this stuff about everyone's getting choked now, and the hair pull, and the dirty talk where you're like, call me a whore. I think in 10 years, girls are gonna be like, do you know what he said to me?
I wonder too, like how much of it is. I've said this several times recently. Like the choking thing permeated culture so fast.
I have a theory on this.
Okay, I'm wondering, is it performative or do they actually all like it?
I think a lot of them do like it. I think it's a lot when masculinity kind of went down. I think choking in the bedroom went up.
So it's like you're a pussy in real life, so be a man.
Yeah.
There actually might be some logic to that. Yeah. It's like I run your life, and you know what I mean.
I think there's some caveman shit in there. Yeah. Like guys aren't as guy-y anymore. Yeah. So in the bedroom, like be a fucking guy. Yeah, let's do it.
You know what I will say, to go back to the earlier conversation, when I'm talking about how much it sucks with kids, I think there are probably also like dads out there who are like old school dads who are like, I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna keep doing all the shit that I do. Yeah. So it's about how involved you are and all that shit. But yeah, I think there's definitely a level of like we stopped being like the Mad Men guys.
Yeah.
And while like 99% of the time that's probably good for girls.
Yes.
There probably is a missing element of like I just miss when a guy was a fucking guy who
manhandled me.
Yeah.
I think so. I think that's my theory. We have a lady here who loves being choked. So we could ask her, but that's my dumb guy theory.
I mean, yeah, Jack, no girl. I feel like girls like it very much both ways, where it's like you want a guy who's in touch with his feelings and lets you be independent and blah, 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 blah. But it's also like if you're a pussy, you're unattractive.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's fun to feel like a slut.
I guess that's the other thing too. It's like
and Halloween.
Anything else in the world, if you're gonna do it, let's do it.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna fuck you, I'm gonna fuck you.
Right.
I think that there is some kind of like, I don't know, evolution. Like it's just hot.
Yeah. Dominance, complete dominance, and the neck
like,
is a vulnerable spot.
You go play like some pickup ball. It's like I want to play basketball. I want to do what I like. I want to watch the pros do. Like I'm gonna try to do my best.
I want to choke these kids on the court. But the hair pulling, the spank, it all comes back to just naughty. And I think there's a lot of dad stuff at play.
Yeah,
I think dads really play a factor. It's upsetting
when you. I don't know though.
They call us
daddy. I know some pretty fucking well-adjusted girls who are just like. I think a lot of it's like I saw it in porn and I liked it and I do it and
Yeah. But
I don't know, maybe the issue is like you have too good of a relationship with your dad. I don't fucking know.
Right.
But I know plenty of people who are fucked up and do that shit, and plenty of people who are totally normal and like, I just like to get down.
Yeah, well, I know a girl who's wacko, drug addict, in and out of rehab, and we had
Don't
sex.
talk about your wife that way.
This is years ago. We had sex, and I spanked her, and she was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Oh, I just thought that's what you did."
You're not doing it?
Yeah, I was like, "You're crazy. A psycho freak weirdo. You got a swastika tattoo on your lower back, and I spank you, and I'm the weirdo."
I had a girl once where we were talking about that, and it was just like, "Do you like spanking?" And she's like, "I don't crave it." And I was like, you crave the other stuff?
I think so, yeah. And I think
Crave to spit in your mouth? Jesus Christ.
Well, there's something to be said, too, that women all day have to be prim, proper. They look nice. They got makeup on. They're polite. They say sorry and thank you.
Loose.
So in the bedroom, let's get fucking nutty.
Yeah.
I
don't get why. I guess it's just how your body reacts or whatever. But I don't get people who have sex not that way. It's like,
what are we doing here?
Like I just said, like, let's get messy. It's like the fact that you want to do it, but do it like, let's just do it in this one position for a little while and like not say anything and then don't even fucking do it at all, man.
Yeah.
You know? Go to separate rooms and masturbate.
Yeah,
right,
for real.
right.
For real.
Well, there is the hungover sideways. Let's knock this out.
Bro, the hungover when you're like, you wake up and you're hard, but you're both hungover, and it's just kind of like that game of chicken where you're like, which one of us is going to roll over onto the other one?
Yeah, it's right there.
One of us there's some, you're playing a little hanky-panky, and you're like, all right, clearly this is going to happen, but maybe if I lay really still, she'll get on me.
It's like playing chicken with the chores. Like, who's going to take the garbage out?
Yes.
So they just pile up in this thing. I have a theory
I'll let out a groan or two, but like, look how tired I am.
like, that kind of hurts.
Yeah, like some girls like to be like handcuffed and shit and tied up, and I'm like, that's just.
I gotta do everything.
I gotta do everything.
Yeah.
This isn't hot. This is labor.
You're like, yo, that thing you do with your hands is pretty cool. Now you can't do any of that shit.
Yeah.
I have a theory that the spoon sex that you speak of.
Yes.
The day that becomes
the norm.
No, I'm almost the opposite. I guess so. Like, I think if you can enjoy that consistently, like everybody can enjoy when everybody throws their fastball. You know?
Sure.
And it's also just not realistic that everyone's going to do that every time.
No.
So, but if you can have the enjoyable spoon sex, whether it's because you like her ass or what she does or how her pussy feels or whatever, but the day that starts to go, you know, it's like
interesting.
I think you'll over time you will lose to like I put on some lingerie and we're doing these crazy things because it just happens. But if you can consistently enjoy that, I think you'll be good.
Okay, that's good to know because in marriage,
I don't know what I'm talking about. We're like the same age. That's my guess. You know.
Well, in marriage, you do a lot of spoon because you're like, let's just knock this out. You know, there's my mom's in the next room.
I was gonna say, I think I've probably done spoon like 3 times in my life.
Really?
Huh.
So like that,
and every time the mom was in the next room.
Yeah. Well, I know that gets you off.
Every lazy sex, like you're getting up and putting in work.
Yeah.
Hey.
Or my playing dead fish has worked, and she's on top.
So I know people kind of knock it. It's just the lazy man's doggy style. You just take doggy style and you put it sideways.
Oh, you're right.
You're still clapping cheeks.
True.
Yeah,
you can't really see their asshole as much, and we know that that's why we love doggy style. But if you just take doggy style, and it's like when sometimes your heights don't match up or your back's kind of, you just go, boom.
Yeah, you're right.
Sideways dog. I'm gonna redefine. I'm gonna have a revolution. We're gonna rebrand the spoon, and we're gonna call it sideways doggy style. If you say to someone, "Yo, do you like sideways doggy style?" They're gonna go, "What's that?" And then you're like, "You just fucking lay down."
That's good.
I've never thought of it that way because when I think of spoon, I think our heads are the same way. Like you're saying, like she's bent over like that, laying.
It's a little bit up. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
so it's not quite doggy style, but it's
lovable,
kind of
dog.
that.
Yeah.
It can. I've definitely fucking put their head down there and it starts to make that perpendicular shape. But yeah, it's a little more like I guess it would be the prone bone, if you will.
Prone bone.
But I think it gets a bad rap.
I like it. No, I did it today. So, I'm on board.
So you're back on the road?
Back on the road every weekend.
Have you been?
I just did New Orleans, my hometown, for Thanksgiving. I do a Thanksgiving show every year, and it's a fucking nightmare.
Sorry to interrupt before we do this. We got to talk about the bachelor party that launched a goddamn comedic civil war practically.
Yeah, well, I'm not allowed to bring it up.
Were you even like aware of what was going on and all that, or are you just like, I'm fucking blacked out at the strip club, whatever? Like
we
not
were
even thinking about it.
All just hammered kind of throughout the day, and then a big argument went nuts, and we're like, this is weird, and then it was over. The internet blew it up.
It was until the podcast started. I mean, Segura was just,
Yeah, exactly.
Tell me the real detail, and then Ari gets in the mix.
Yes, we need content. So, hey, this is something that can start a feud.
But I did get the vibe like that, I feel like Joe and Bert probably aren't like Like they squashed it, but
totally squashed it.
They're like cool now?
Totally cool.
Because I feel like if I have those things, if I have those tiffs with somebody, it's like, all right, I don't like hate you anymore, but I'm also not like looking at the next bachelor party. I'm gonna like pair off with you and hang out.
They got a lot in common. They're both alcoholics. They both like cigars. They both love baseball. Like they're simpatico, so they're good. But yeah, that was a wild trip though. Just I mean,
you had the murderer's row.
Yeah, it got ugly, and it's all booze. So Joe was the only sober guy, so he was kind of the babysitter.
That's gotta be tough.
It was tough.
If I was Joe, I would have been like, I'm not babysitting any of you motherfuckers. I'll go home when I want to go home. If you die, you die. Like I'm not dealing with any of this shit.
Yeah. But last week I did the hometown gig, which is always a nightmare for a comedian because it's just my jerk off high school friends going, talk about that time you shit yourself at the bar, and you're like, "Oh, I'm doing my act here. Hold on there, man." But we had fun.
You weren't that funny in sophomore year.
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
I am now, so shut the fuck up.
Do you have a friend or friends who are like, I'm funnier than you?
Oh yeah. I mean all day long.
Are they?
Probably, but they're not going to sit down and write it out.
That's a big.
That's the hard part.
I got a lot of friends who almost a lot of my common phrases that I use and little catchphrase jokes are like kind of an amalgam of them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you all could have done it. Like,
yes.
you just didn't.
Exactly.
And I think that the fact that I would just sit there and write blogs and shit. I have so many friends who could have been our golf podcast. Our golf podcast makes so much money, and those guys are great. But they were funny guys who golfed and did it, and they would have had a head start.
Yeah. Well,
you got to do it.
Funny people tend to be very lazy and just kind of unambitious. All the funniest guys I started with were just like, I got to do clips. I got to do a podcast. Fuck that. Yeah. I just like telling jokes. I'm out. Right. And now they're all working at, they're like line cooks or mechanics. And they were the funniest people I've ever seen.
And all you had to do was put in some effort on the back end or whatever.
Exactly.
It does suck. I hate it. I hate putting the clips out. I hate the promotion.
It's a nightmare.
But it's also like, then I think like, well, then why do we even do...
I know, it's bittersweet because it does help, but it's also a lot of work. I always say comedy and other stuff like podcasting, entertainment, it used to be like boxing. You go up, you box, you punch people in the face, you get punched in the face, that was it. Now comedy is MMA. You got to know how to grapple, you got to know how to box, you got to know Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu.
I also think it's a lot like football. Ray Lewis used to talk about Sundays I play for free. My paycheck is Monday through Saturday, like the prep and all that. So it's like, when you're on stage in the moment,
that's good.
Or you're doing the show, it's great. But it's the social media and the promotion, all that shit. Otherwise, that's why you get, that's the work part of it.
Yeah.
Do you have strategy to yours? Like, do you know when you're posting a Tuesdays with More stories clip, or do you know when you're doing stand? Do you have times you do it at, or are you just kind of like fucking throwing it around?
I'm weird. I got like I'll have a Hamas bit, so I'll be like, all right. That's in the news. Let's put that out.
Yeah.
Or like, I got a Taylor Swift joke. Let's put that out now while she's in the news. So I do stuff like that.
But like your steady everyday shit, is it like?
Yeah.
Do you have a producer who's like, we have to have a clip in the morning, a clip at night? And,
I feel it out. I try to do one every 3 days.
Do you run all your shit?
I do all of it.
You don't have any...
I have a guy who cuts it and captions it, but I decide when to put it out and what to write under it and all that.
Do you have times you go by, or you kind of like day? Like 10 a.m. versus 8 p.m. kind of deal?
Nah, it's kind of like, all right, I'm getting on a flight. I'll do it now.
Yeah.
Knock it out.
How many clips would you say you do like a week, or like when an episode drops, you have like...
Oh, God. I don't know. I probably do like 3 a week. So it's a lot of work.
It's funny, man. It's like I feel like we have to grind out much more. It's always a very fine line between, you don't want to overexpose.
Yes.
Some people, you pull away and it's mysterious and they want more. I think you have to be really very talented, and the material has to be great for that. And then other people, I think it's like, I got to hit this.
I know.
See this clip, and maybe the first 2 weren't that funny, but the third one you said, yes, I relate to that, and now I'm becoming a fan. So it's that shit is a grind for sure.
It's a grind, and I hope it goes away. They say there's going to be data fatigue. That's what they're calling it, coming soon. And I'm like, I can't wait for that shit.
Bro, if it hasn't come, I mean...
That's true. Because people,
come already. Finish. Let's go, data.
Yeah. Most entertainment is within 24 hours. Like, most of what you consume is been made within 24 hours. Isn't that insane?
Yeah.
So, like, all that footage is just gone. You don't even think about it.
Yep.
Unless it's an old tweet we pull up. But, like, all the shit you're watching on TikTok and all that when you're shitting or on the train.
Do you ever think about that, though? We have a particularly evergreen podcast. And I think I keep meaning to, like, get a team together to just go back through hundreds of episodes and recut all
That's
the
a great
evergreen
idea.
shit.
Great idea.
Because when you watch a TikTok, it's like, unless you know what the person looks like, it's like, oh, that was 5 years ago. They had a beard.
Yeah.
You don't know if it's brand new or 10 years old. Just
Totally.
You know the name. So if you have that catalog, it can be very, very valuable. But
Very valuable.
You need like a fucking team.
But if you got the money, do it. Because then
Yeah.
you can sit back and be like, all right, we can take
Yeah.
a breather and just do our shit instead of having to fucking put footage out all day.
Jackie, that's what's next for you, girl.
I think. Do you think that with you're talking about the data fatigue, where like I don't know if I'm unique or whatever, but like I've been thinking recently, probably for a couple months now, closer to a year, where it's just like I'm just so. It's even commercials now. I'm so sick of everything that's being filmed on a phone.
Yeah.
It's kind of what you're saying. Like everything was just created in 24 hours.
Yeah.
Where I'm at the point now where I'm like, when I consume something, I want to see like that they put in work. And that they tried, and it's not just like if you watch, I watch Hulu a lot, and I have it with ads. I like the commercials, whatever. I could afford $12 a month. It's fine, $7.99. But like every Olay commercial, and then it's like it's a lot of skin creams, and it's like people just like selling auto insurance.
Yeah.
And I was like, I remember when they used to hire actors for this shit.
Right.
Like,
Give me a good Jake from State Farm. Let's go.
Throw a few fucking bucks in there and get like a model to fucking do this.
Yeah.
This. There's one particular cream that I'm always getting an ad for. It's like you can put it on your butt crack and it doesn't stink. Like what the fuck are you putting lotion on your butt crack for? Whatever. My point is that do you think that there will be a come around to like
Quality again?
I think for sure. I think that's a great prediction.
And I'm not like. I'm not trying to make a prediction because I'm just saying like that's
everything
how
shifts because you get sick of hair metal, we go to grunge. You know, it just keeps shifting. So like I think that's gonna happen. I think that's why movies are coming back. Like
that's what I was
Oppenheimer killed it, Barbie killed it. I saw Napoleon last night. It's incredible. It's like an epic film with fucking cannonballs and horses and swords and castles, and you're like, oh my god! I'm not watching some asshole go, hey, where you from? And it's in a shitty club in Cleveland. They're like, I'm from Cleveland. Oh, this guy's from Cleveland. Yeah, who gives a fuck? Show me something good, some quality. So I think that's coming back.
It is, I mean, like it's perfectly right where it's like everything's just cyclical. But I think when the pandemic hit and everyone was like, we can just do it like Skype.
Yeah.
I watched I'm like, get in the fucking studio. Like get in the studio and talk. I don't want to hear you stepping over each other. I don't want to hear you like just fucking get in the studio and go to work instead of having to be in your bedroom.
Authenticism got real big for a while. Like, oh, it's gritty. Holy shit. It's like I'm in the room with them. I think we got sick of that because every cum guzzler and twat and asshole could make anything. Yeah. And we're sick of it.
There needs to be a little bit of a barrier eventually.
Yeah, a little bit.
You're good enough or have enough money or enough backing to like you rented a studio. There's a producer who like believes in you. Whatever. Where it's like there's enough faith put into you that you recorded it, in a real way. Rather, it's like literally anybody can do it with their phone.
You watch like NFL Game Day or whatever the show called on NFL Network, and it's like 5 different boxes of people. It's like,
I know, it's the worst.
Just go to a studio, guys.
Well, TV feels done.
Yeah.
This is better than most TV shows.
Really is.
It's so bad. Yeah. And then the commercials, and then you gotta, if you miss it, you miss it. So like
TV had a real like
without sports and news, what do they got?
Yeah, right. There was a real golden age.
That golden age was not long ago, man. It was that Mad Men, Breaking Bad.
Sure.
I think even went later than that because they needed Thrones. I think
Thrones,
up until the pandemic, I think there was still really good TV made. Right now, there's fucking people keep. I've been in movie mode for like 3 months. I just watch movies every night because there's nothing.
There's nothing. And you sift for hours.
Of like one show. And even if I do, I'm like, it was all right.
Like Squid Game was something. Yeah. Like what grabs the nation? Like something we'd all be talking about at the
that
water
was
cooler
good.
shows.
Even like Squid Game was like the ending of Squid Game. I thought kind of sucks.
Yeah,
it's very rare that it like at least and Game of Thrones sucked in the end, but it was like 4, 5, 6 whatever seasons where it was like it was good for a long time, week in and week out. Like, well done. That is just not.
The Last of Us. That was like what, about a year ago?
I'll tell you what though. That's the answer. I'm playing video games a lot more now. These guys should be making the movies. They make the Spider-Man game that just came out. I was like, this is a fucking awesome movie that I just get to like be a part of a little bit.
Wow, interesting.
So I mean, and those guys, I say like, why don't those guys write the movies? And it's probably because they're making more money fucking doing video games. Yeah. So the real writers are doing games, not fucking TV.
Got a little too queefy too. Like you got to have this many of this, and we got to have a woman beat up everybody.
House of Usher? The Fall of House of Usher.
No, I haven't heard.
It was a Netflix thing that was like comical with the representation.
Oh, really?
It
was a white dad who had 6 kids, and like 3 of them just weren't white.
That's hilarious.
It would, man,
so
this
funny.
one was gay, this one was bi, this one's straight but getting his dick sucked, this one is a woman, this one's a black woman, this one is a... It was like...
And it's all
you guys
fine.
didn't even fucking
Just don't force it on me.
Yeah,
Like, this is silly. Now it's a... South Park just ripped Disney a new asshole.
Did you like that?
It was great.
Yeah, that was very good.
Those guys
were
are brilliant.
very well done.
But it's you can't force it, and we all know what it is. Like, my wife loves Sex in the City. And the old seasons are great when it was on HBO. Like, they were fun and young. And now it's just so obvious that it's almost like AI made it.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. The old Sex and the City, I think, was one of the first shows that had a cum shot on television.
Really?
On regular TV. It was like, I think, a happy ending massage situation. And there was just a... Like, you didn't see the dick, but you saw, like, it pop on the screen.
Hey,
I think it was, like, one of the first...
I don't see a lot.
It's still not... the reason... It was Issa Rae, her show...
Insecure?
Had one where, like, I think she gets a facial.
Whoa.
And it was a thing. He didn't ask. I think that was the whole story.
Oh, he didn't ask.
And I like, that was a big deal, and it was, like, here are the firsts, and it was, like, that show The Americans had a 69.
Whoa.
The Sex and the City had a cum shot. It was all the things that was like for the first time.
That's fun.
So yeah, and they ain't doing that anymore though. Like the new Sex and the City is very, all cookie cutter shit.
Right.
Go back to the cum.
Yeah.
Give us the cum. Come on.
Probably have a squirter now because you got to have a lady do it.
Right.
Take the power back. But yeah, that show, it's wild and it's just panned all day long. Everybody makes fun of it.
Yeah.
Like, we just want good. I
Right.
think that's why comedy's so popular right now.
Yeah, I mean you guys are having your fucking golden age for sure.
It's a boom
a lot
and
of
a half.
money making, huh?
Oh yeah, it's great.
How
People
much
are
money
coming
are you
out.
making these days, Norman? You rich?
I'm doing okay. I got a small nut.
So you did that first special was like 12 million views on YouTube.
Yeah.
How much did you make from that?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Not much. I mean,
Not
pennies.
even like that third party shit.
It's a
Still
commercial
nothing.
to sell your tickets on the road.
Right, but there is not like talking like 50 grand or not even that, like literal peanuts.
Literally, you get about like $700 a month for that. I get.
Oh, and that was like a wild success.
Yes,
You know?
exactly.
Fucking YouTube, this guy's by the balls. And then that parlays into a one special deal with Netflix. Was it like a tryout, or you have?
I did a half hour. They were like testing me.
Right.
So then after that, I got an hour. Right. So it's a long road. Some people just get an hour. Yeah. I had to do the YouTube. I did a Comedy Central hour, Comedy Central half hour.
I'm sure you don't want to hear this, but I feel like that's like the better way to do it in like the long run.
Probably.
In the moment, it's like I would love to just cut to the $20 million Netflix deal, but it's like your comedy grew with it.
Yes.
And now you're ready for it.
I did the long route.
Because some of these specials, it's like you should have worked on that for a couple more years.
I know. It's getting wild.
And like you have to know when you got the goods and when you don't.
Yeah.
Like if I went up there and tried right now, even if I did my best, I'd be like, well, that ain't like Mark. That ain't like Shane. That ain't like, and so I'm not ready to put that out.
Well, it's funny how big of an asshole people are. They'll be like, oh, Shane Gillis has 15 million views. Must be nice. Like, must be nice. He earned that. He's hilarious, and he couldn't get on any other thing, so he put a thing on YouTube.
He was forced to do it
after he got in trouble. Yeah, so like, I hate the must be nice. He earned that.
That's fucking crazy. Yeah.
But that's human nature. You know? People get angry.
Well, find the good ones on the road and perform for them. So go check out Mark. You going everywhere?
Everywhere. MarkNormanComedy.com. We're doing the Micro Penis Tour. Come on out. It's a fun one. But yeah, I'm coming to your town. I swear to God. I don't know what camera I'm looking at. But yeah, I'll jizz on your shoe. We'll do it up.
All right. Beautiful. Thanks, man.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe, like, and leave a comment below. Click that button.
Or I'll cut off my finger.